How's it going there? I'm your Jake of all trades, and I'm going to get right into it. On Indiegogo, I backed a campaign for the AYN Odin Lite. There was a base model and a pro model. Those had the Snapdragon 845 chip in them. And it's a very, very capable device. The big pro of going with the pro or base model is that you can dual boot the built-in Android system, or you can do a version of Windows, though I've heard that Windows on ARM is not particularly great, or you can boot Linux. I don't really have any experience with any Linux builds, though I would really like to try out Batocera on one of these handheld devices. Quickly, I'll do a size comparison. You got your Odin Lite, you got your OG Switch. Trying to do this in reverse here. Yeah. So, side by side, you can tell the OG Switch is quite a bit bigger. The bezels on the Switch screen are bigger than those on the Odin Lite. You do get more screen on the OG Switch, but not too much. Let's see. The Odin here it looks like it's got slightly larger triggers and shoulder buttons. Also, the controllers are built into the device, which is why I purchased a Switch Lite, because this feels a lot more solid in the hand, though it's lighter and smaller, than the OG Switch. Also has much smaller bezels. There's your screen comparison and your size comparison. Let's see, get those lined up at the bottom. You got a portion of an inch larger. This does feel way bigger in the hand, though, for better or worse. One thing I didn't mention about the OG Switch, which you can change out the Joy-Cons. They've got the Hori Split Pad Pro thing out there. The Odin has this contour in the back, which makes the grip a lot nicer than just the flat back. Here is the trigger button comparison. Much more real estate here. Another big advantage of the Odin Lite or any of the other Odin models is analog triggers. They've got, nice little sounds there. The thumbsticks are very similar to that of the regular Joy-Cons. They're not exactly the same. A little bit thinner rim around the thumb pad. They might actually be the same on the inside. I don't know. Someone did ask about the texture of the plastic on these transparent models. I've got the transparent black. I don't know if it's any different from the solid colors. There's a little bit of grip to this plastic here. Someone specifically said that they hoped that the transparent black was the exact same texture as that of the transparent black on the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. As soon as I read that, I grabbed my kid's Nintendo Switch Pro controller and felt the plastic. And I tell you, that plastic is a lot smoother than this. You also have these little buttons on the back. Those are very useful in some of your emulators to use as hotkeys, so, and I followed the Retro Game Core button layouts for RetroArch and other things, so a lot of times I'll click in the left one, and there's save state and load state, and, they've got it all laid out there. A lot of those retro games are hard, so yeah, I do state saves and loads. Now, a lot of times I'll push through. I don't just reload them over and over again, unless it's one of those things where it's just a really stupid jump or whatever. Anyway, it emulates every system I've thrown at it. I haven't thrown every system at it, like PlayStation 3. I haven't tried to emulate PlayStation 3 on here, though it's one of my favorite systems of all time. I've just heard this can't do it. It's just not good at it. In fact, sometimes it has trouble with PlayStation 2. Hitman Blood Money. Rotaka is another YouTuber that I've actually communicated with in Reddit. And he took a stab at trying to get that game to run right, and it's just not recommended to try to run Hitman Blood Money on PlayStation 2 emulator on the Odin Lite. Maybe the Odin Pro can do it just fine. I don't know. Speaking of the Hitman games, there was one that I was playing that to get through a tutorial, you need to be able to push down your left trigger halfway. And if you don't have analog triggers, you can't do it. So I got, corked at the tutorial. So I've been a bit obsessed with analog triggers. Analog triggers on your handheld device are really nice. I, like everybody else who's tested one of these devices out, tested out Forza Horizon 5. And yeah, the analog triggers work really well in there. One unique problem that I've had is that I've gone the Dolphin emulators. I've gone for the Play Store Dolphin emulator, which I really just don't use. MMJR, which seems to be everybody's favorite, but I cannot get MMJR to recognize my left thumbstick. And then MMJR2, which supposedly was like abandoned, but after I set it up, it was like, oh, an update's available, and so it was updated, I guess, at the end of August, so I guess it's not abandoned. MMJR2 has been working beautifully for me, but yeah, MMJR, I've even copied the config file for my controller setup, and it's just not noticing my left thumbstick. I don't know if anybody else has had that problem, but I have that problem, so I don't use Dolphin MMJR. I've used the HDMI out, so yeah, playing on your TV works. I didn't, however, set it in front of the TV and then connect a Bluetooth controller. My bad. But I think it would make a great couch retro gaming experience. Also, you can use that with your video capture card to get your gaming footage. There's a great screen capture application that comes built in here, and you can use audio or not from whatever your device is generating as far as audio goes. So if you're going to do a gameplay video, YouTubers, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to put it all to do your entire video right here on the device, unless you want to have separate cameras. It is a really, really nice Android device, so you can put something like CapCut to do video editing, Snapseed for photo editing. I haven't tried using those with the controllers, but now that I mention it, I'm very tempted to. I could totally see installing a digital audio workstation and, connecting something like a Focusrite Scarlett Solo via the USB-C connection and recording straight into the Odin Lite. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video on what you can do that has nothing to do with gaming on this gaming device. The Wi-Fi 6 connection, which is exclusive to the Odin Lite, is excellent. I've done GeForce Now, Xbox Game Pass, and Steam Link over Wi-Fi 6. Very stable, very solid connection. I haven't had any perceptible issues due to network latency using Wi-Fi 6. A couple of notes about Steam Link. I initially had some trouble doing Steam Link streaming because my PC had a controller connected to it. So when I would bring up Steam Link on the Odin, it'd be like, yeah, controller, good to go. And then I'd start hitting controls and nothing would happen because it was registering the controller that was connected to my computer. So if you're having trouble with Steam Link, check to see if it's because there's a controller connected to your PC. Disconnect your controller from your PC before you leave it. All right? And then everything will work fine. One of the reasons I bought this device is you can put in your SIM card and connect to your mobile network. I have a 5G plan. This doesn't do 5G. Now, I knew that right out of the box it comes with 4G connectivity, in that you can use it as a phone and send text messages. I did that. You can do web browsing on 4G, some downloading. My efforts with game streaming have been awful. In Udon's first video about the release of the Odin Lite, in fact, he had his review model and everything. He had mentioned something about 5G being possible with a paid app. I have not been able to find any information regarding a paid app. I would pay for it. The ability to stream games anywhere that I get a signal would be worth it to me. I love my games, and frankly, it would really satisfy a need for me to have a Windows handheld for quite a while. If I could do Steam Link from the parking lot at my kid's school. Not only have I not found out what this app is supposed to be, but I've gone on Reddit and Discord, comments on Taki and Retro Game Core, and all these other videos asking about, what's the deal with the 5G. Finally emailed AYN and eventually got a response that, and the person who was dealing with me had to check with, I guess, one of the engineers. 5G is just not possible with this device. That's upsetting. It hasn't really hindered me at this point yet, because the only times I've really tried to do GeForce Now or, Steam Link or Xbox Game Pass was just testing to see that it worked, if it would work. Game Pass, I've actually had some success. A little bit of pixelation. It's not the best way to play your games as Game Pass over 4G. Steam Link, the best I've had was horribly pixelated, just really glitchy looking, not worth even attempting. And GeForce Now wouldn't even connect. Native Android games, awesome. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Hitman Go, Dead Cells, they all run beautifully on this thing. I haven't devoted a whole lot of time to actually playing them, but everything I've done is beautiful. The screen's big and gorgeous. Retro Game Core has posted starter guides for Android emulation and AYN Odin setup. I really recommend going along with those off of the website and the videos. He goes through how to bind your controls, lots of settings to have as kind of the defaults for your emulators. Not everything's going to run perfectly in those emulators without a bit of tweaking of the settings in there, but I have been very, very surprised at the amount of games that I've been able to get running. If not flawlessly, close enough that I get to play these games again, without setting up my old consoles to the TV. So why do I want a separate Android handheld device? Well, a lot of that is I don't want to fill up my phone with games, and I don't want to murder my phone's battery gaming. So having a completely separate device with built-in controls that you can just grab and it's ready, it's devoted to gaming and all that stuff is fantastic. Heard a lot of complaints about the new screen in the Odin Lite being harder on the battery, and I've seen somebody post numbers that compare it to that of the Odin Pro, and yeah, I think the new screen does put a little more drain on the battery. But it's gorgeous, and I don't really get to sit for, 4 to 6 hours just messing with my handheld. So I don't really care. I put it on the charger when I walk away from it. I pretty much, in every bag I ever carry with me, I have a power bank, so that can be charging there when I'm walking around doing other things. Those power banks can fit in the back pocket very easily. Yeah, having a good battery life is a good thing. But, it's not the end of the world if you don't have the best battery life. And also, if you're going to sit for more than a couple hours playing a game, just sit at your computer or your console at your TV set, I guess. So that's the AYN Odin Lite. I recommend it. I highly recommend it. It's an incredibly capable device. Thanks for stopping by. I'm your Jake of all trades. Let me know if there's anything else you want to know about that I didn't cover here. I'll be happy to get back to you. And that's it for today. See you next time. Like, comment, subscribe, share, send me some money. Bye.